Hello, welcome to Life Lessons 360. So great to have you here on the channel today. My name is Anthony, and here at Life Lessons 360, we go ahead and tell powerful stories. Stories that enable you not only to thrive, but to excel in every area of your life, be it personally, professionally, and more importantly, spiritually. Today, over the last couple of weeks, a thought has been brooding in my mind, and what's that? Sometimes we get so weighed down by, should I say, many a times we are not, what slows us down are not external obstacles. What slows us down are internal criticism of ourselves. Many a times we don't know how to live with ourselves because there's a feeling of inadequacy, a feeling of flaws, unaccomplished tasks, and many a times we start thinking of the perception of how people perceive us, the things that we've not done right. There are so many things that are out of the way. And in the journey of life, we forget that life is a journey, not actually a competition. And sometimes we move through life, we are so goal-driven, goal-oriented, destination-driven, that we forget to admire the view along the way. And one of the things I've realized is that you need to have a better perception about life, a better perception about who you are so that you can enjoy the journey of life. One of the things that we get to do, or one of the things that can place pressure on you, is when you don't know how to frame your language properly. Certain things you may not even know that the words you're speaking are carrying so much weight that they are suppressing the way you are, your thoughts. They are weighing you down just by the kind of language that you're confessing. I'll give you an instance. Maybe someone is saying you didn't do well at something, or maybe you didn't pass a test, or maybe you had a setback. And rather than you now go ahead and say something like, I know I'm a failure. I know that this thing, I'm not worth it. I failed in this. Such languages have a way of suppressing you, placing you in a position of depression. Sometimes you think that you're not of value or worth. And one of the things that you must learn to understand is that you must learn to know not only how to speak to people, but also learn how to speak to yourself. It's so important that you learn how to speak to yourself. I'll give you an instance. In a situation whereby maybe something didn't go the way you planned, rather than confess negatively about that situation, you can tell yourself, oh, wow, this is a great learning experience. This is a great learning experience. I'm in the process. If you tell yourself that you're in the process of getting better, it's different than telling yourself, I am a failure. Because when you categorize yourself in a position of failure, it means that you've given yourself an identity of failure. And everywhere you go, your brain rises up to the occasion and like, okay, you said you're a failure, so that means I'm going to help you and assist you to make that reality come to pass. But when you begin to say certain things, and it's so important, not only what you say to yourself, but like I always say, it's so important that you surround yourself with people who breathe life into you. Sometimes you're not at your very best, but a word from a friend, a word from a colleague, a word from a loved one, it just fires you back up because they are not speaking words that are detrimental to your growth, your productivity, or your proficiency. They are speaking words that carry life within them. I got into a study, and the study said that before the child gets to age 17, the child has heard no 150,000 times. And the child has heard yes 5,000 times, about 5,000 times. So you can imagine the number of times someone has heard no before he or she is 17. Compared to the number of assertive times the person has heard yes. So it's so important because sometimes we ask ourselves, why do people behave the way they behave? It's because of the kind of words that has come into their lives over the period of time. And so it's so important the way we speak to yourself. Choose how you speak to yourself. Speak positively to yourself. Look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. You're the greatest. You're the best at what you do. You are awesome. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Appraise yourself. Speak words of life into yourself. And I can assure you that by the time you learn to relate with yourself, Some people, the challenge they have with other people is that they haven't even learned how to relate with themselves. They haven't learned how to treat themselves. And so they accept anything that comes their way because they don't even know how to treat themselves. And so it's important that in our journey of life, learn to treat yourself good. Learn to talk to yourself in the right way. Learn to choose your words carefully. The right kind of language that you speak to yourself can go a long way, to determine how far you go in life. God bless you.